조금 오래된 영상이긴 한데 백구 관련된 영상이 있더라고요. 이런 것도 재밌잖아. 한번 봅시다.
The 1930s introduced a lot of legendary aircraft that were active during World War II. And the aircraft of the BF-109 series are, without any doubt, among the most recognizable vehicles of the era. Today we're going to discuss the most effective ways to use these iconic
잘 모르는
fighters
사람도
in
2차
battle.
대전하면 뭐 탱크면 티거, 비행기면 뭐 스피파이어나 백구 이 정도는 알 것
The
같아.
BF-109B1 variants are rank 1 aircraft that are not as agile as their primary rivals but can go pretty fast. A 620 horsepower engine allows them to reach a max speed of 444 kilometers an hour. Not bad for an aircraft that faces biplanes and early monoplanes. With either of the early models, energy preservation is a must, and try to stay out of dogfights. Both fighters are armed with two 7.92mm machine guns. That's not enough firepower to intercept even the earliest of bombers, but lighter
폭격기
targets are
요격으로
a
하기에
different story.
화력이 약했다.
The BF-109E1 variant is equipped with 4 machine guns, allowing you to deal with enemies a little bit faster. And late Emils, namely the E3, E4, E7, and the E7U2,
이포가
get
좀
cannons.
이쁘죠, 이포가.
Two 20mm wing-mounted guns with 60 rounds of ammo each make short work of rank 1 bombers and can wreck enemy fighters with just
배에
a
못
couple
알고
of
있는 거야.
hits.
폭탄
Not
4개.
to mention that Emils have a more powerful engine, allowing them to easily get away from
백구는 BR에
dangerous
올라갈수록
foes.
엔진이 점점
All in all,
좋아집니다.
we suggest that you take full advantage of your speed and firepower. Use
그러니까
hit and run
백구
tactics
에너지
and prevent
파이팅은
enemies from climbing to your altitude.
엔진빨로 하는 거죠. 엔진빨.
It's worth noting, though, that in the hands of a skilled
미국은
pilot,
이제
the
에너지
BF-109E
유지빨이라는.
is no
엔진은 그래서
slouch
좋은
in a
건 아니거든요.
turnfight either. Also, remember that Emils can carry bombs, 4 50-kilogram ones or a single 250-kilogram.
지상길에서 저거 하나 들고
In mixed
와가지고 까는
battles,
사람들 제법
bombs are
있어요.
simply a must-have. If there are enemy aircraft in the air, choose the second option, as it's faster and safer to drop just one bomb. If there are no enemies in the sky, feel free to take 4 smaller ones. Once again, if you're skilled enough, each of them can score you a frag, for a total of 4. And smaller bombs are also not as heavy, so there's less additional weight affecting the performance of your aircraft.
저
The same
무장은
piece of
언제적
advice
무장이야?
applies to early Friedrich variants as well. The first and the
F1
second
하고
BF-109F are significantly superior to their opponents, both in terms of speed and maneuverability, making them extra scary when they have an altitude advantage. Furthermore, German engineers got rid of wing-mounted armaments. Instead, the BF-109F had a 20mm cannon firing through the propeller shaft.
그렇죠. 날개 무장
That meant that
있으면
the
맞추기
aircraft
힘들어.
packed a bit less of a punch, but the nose-mounted gun also made aiming a lot easier. As a result,
그래서
aircraft
이게
of the 109F
동체
series have an
기총이
easier
있는 게
time
좋죠.
fighting other fighters, but can struggle a bit against well-protected bombers. When designing the F2 variant,
로켓?
German engineers tried to solve this problem by giving the fighter 8 light rockets. But
아
later,
이번에
there was the
그
F4
배틀패스 보상
variant,
있잖아요.
which received an
걔도
even
로켓
more
따라서
practical
폭격기는
solution.
잡겠던데.
When fully decked out, this fighter has both a
6.3.
20mm hub cannon and a couple of 15mm cannons. That's more than enough firepower to tear any bomber apart in seconds. If you're planning to engage other fighters, though, we suggest that you should leave the gun pods at home. This way, the aircraft will be significantly lighter, and even in its
저
original
사막 버전이
configuration,
왼쪽에 보면
the
필터가 있거든요. 모래
BF-109F4
필터.
has enough ammo to
저것
destroy
때문에
a whole
가열이
flight of
더 잘
single-engine
되는 것 같아.
fighters. Not to mention that without the additional cannons, this Friedrich can
근데
outturn
백구는 봐도
most
이쁘다.
opponents at its rank.
뭔가 좀 절제된 미가 있는 것 같아.
The
절제.
BF-109G2 is a great hit and
G2부터
run
오면
fighter
이제
thanks to
진짜
its new engine,
좋아집니다.
providing
G2부터.
more speed and giving it an even better rate of
그렇죠.
climb. The aircraft also has access to more powerful wing-mounted guns. You get 20
그러니까 저는 개인적으로
cannons instead
생각할
of the
때
regular
만나는
15
적군 대비했을 때 가장 좋은
allowing you
건
to be
G6
even
같더라고.
more aggressive with your
올라가면 더
head-on
성능은
attacks.
좋겠지만 만나는 애들도 세거든요. G6가 그
The
키크
G6 variant is fairly
이거.
demanding in terms of skill when used against
엔진도
other fighters.
좋아지고
It still
가열도
has
좀
the upper
덜하고
hand when it comes
화력은
to
이제 또
pure speed and rate of
12.7mm부터
climb,
시작하고요.
but it's a good idea to stay out of dogfights. Your primary goal at the start of a match is to intercept enemy bombers, and only then is it a good idea to switch to
그
fighters.
민행견 소스는 20mm요. 유명했대요. 실제 2차 대전에서 한두 발로 그냥 날개 그냥 동강 내버려 그랬대.
With just a single hit. It's worth mentioning that this cannon is considerably harder to use than the 20mm one, due to its tricky ballistics. So get ready to spend some time mastering the weapon if you want to land hits on smaller targets. The G6 can also carry 210mm rockets.
210mm
In
로켓.
real life, they were used against bombers, but they're also pretty effective against ground targets in ground RB.
저걸 타고 굳이 저걸 해야 돼.
The G10 and the G14 variants
G6
are very
위상
similar to the
올라가면
G6
저도 잘
that
몰라요.
you're
많이
already
타보지도 않았어.
familiar with.
지상전에서나 좀
Yes, they are
타보지.
faster, but their enemies
공동전용으로는
aren't
싸보지
twiddling
않았어.
their thumbs either. Most opponents can easily outturn both of them, and
엔진
sometimes
출력도
can
좋고
even
뭐
catch
화력도
up
이제
with them.
30mm 넘어갔죠.
Our
이제.
suggestion is to climb high right at the start of the match, far away from the center of the map. Take down a couple of enemy bombers while you're at it, and then go all in on boom and zoom. The same goes for the
백번은
last
구면 조각이
variant
참
of the
좋아요. 고도 먹기
BF-109,
좋으니까
the
고도 먹고
K4.
내를 찍는 거.
Just keep in mind that it has no bombs, so it's not really built for mixed battles. The BF-109Z1 was the result of a
그렇죠,
desperate
혼종.
drive to create
예.
a stopgap heavy fighter to
이
repel Allied
골뱅이죠,
bombers. But it
감-
never
가끔씩
made it
팝니다.
into
30mm
actual
내정인가.
full-scale production.
예.
Nevertheless,
야구
the
쓸 때 해도
prototype
내주면 안 돼요.
available in War Thunder is pretty good at its intended job. 4 MK-108 cannons are very effective
30mm
against
세죠.
slow-moving targets. At the same time, the Zwilling is way too heavy
한번
to
잘못 걸리면
engage
훅 갑니다.
regular fighters on its own terms.
저 그거 같은데
But its
저거.
unorthodox layout and
저
firepower
탱크
make
뭐지
it a
저거?
force to be reckoned with
한
in
포로
head-on
쓰는 그거 아닌가?
engagements.
뭐였더라?
Finally, there's a unique variant of the BF-109 in the Israeli tech tree, the Czechoslovak Avia S-199. It's
이거
pretty much the
그 뭐냐,
BF-109G, but
이스라엘이지,
with a
이스라엘.
less powerful engine. As a result, this plane doesn't fly as
이스라엘
well as the
아닌가,
main models in the series. For instance, its maneuverability can only be described
그거
as
안 좋던데
mediocre
시작하는
at
이스라엘
best.
시작 트리에 있을
At
거야
the
아마.
same time,
진짜
the
구린데
aircraft has enough
엔진이.
firepower to be a lethal threat to any opponent it encounters. 2 MG-151 cannons and 2 MG-131 machine guns are truly a deadly combo, even against bombers. The famed 109 series earned their place in the Aircraft Hall of Fame.
이스라엘은
And in
프로기
War Thunder,
자체가
you could
시작
take every
단계가
single
높아서
plane we mentioned on the
뭐 많이
list
탈
and try them
기회가
out for
없더라고요.
yourself. What's your favorite BF-109, by the way?
제가 제일
Tell us
좋아하는
in the comments
백구는요
below.
G6입니다. G6. 저는 추천하기도 G6예요. 4.7BR, 화력, 기동, 속도, 그리고 만나는 적군까지 조합이 아주 좋아요. 공수주에서 끝장나. 최고 피크인 것 같아.